You knew before anyone said a word. You walked into the room and instantly something was wrong. No one told you. No one had to. Maybe your partner was sitting a little too still. Maybe the conversation stopped a half second too abruptly. Maybe the air itself just felt heavy, charged, tense. You didn't see anything obvious. You couldn't have pointed to a single clear clue. And yet you knew with total certainty that something had happened here, that the mood in this room was dark, before a single word was spoken. What's wrong? You ask. And someone said, how did you know? But the real answer is far stranger than intuition. That instant, wordless read of a room is not a magical sixth sense, and it isn't your imagination. It's the output of one of the most sophisticated, high-speed processing systems you possess, an ancient, largely unconscious machinery for reading the emotional state of other humans through a flood of subtle signals your conscious mind never even registers. In the moment you crossed that threshold, your brain performed a lightning-fast analysis of dozens of tiny cues, faces, postures, movements, sounds, and delivered its conclusion to you not as a thought, but as a feeling. And once you understand how that system works, you will see that this quiet, everyday act of sensing a mood is one of the most remarkable things the human brain does, and that you are far more perceptive than you ever gave yourself credit for. Let's start with just how much information you were actually taking in. When you walk into that room, you were not seeing a neutral snapshot. You were absorbing an enormous stream of data, most of it emotional, and most of it processed far beneath your awareness. Consider the human face alone. Faces are extraordinarily expressive, capable of tiny, fleeting movement that broadcasts emotion in fractions of a second. There are micro-expressions, expressions that flit across a face in a fraction of a second. Too fast to consciously analyze, but not too fast for your brain to catch. The slight tightening around someone's eyes, a jaw held a bit too tight, a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes, the direction of a glance. You registered all of it instantly, without trying, and without knowing you had. And it goes far beyond faces. Your brain was simultaneously reading body language, an entire second language you understand fluently but almost never consciously think about. The tension in a pair of shoulders, the way someone's arms were crossed, a body angle slightly away from another, posture that was too rigid or too slumped, how people were positioned in relation to each other, who was close, who was turned away. Humans are exquisitely tuned to read threat, tension, and emotion in the bodies of others, because for our ancestors, doing so quickly was a matter of survival. You took in all of these postures and positions in an instant, and your brain folded them into its silent assessment. Then there's sound, and this one is powerful. Even if you only caught the very tail end of a conversation, or just a single word, your brain was analyzing far more than the meaning of what was said. It was reading the prosody, the tone, the pitch, the rhythm, the volume of the voices. Tone of voice carries a staggering amount of emotional information, often far more than the words themselves. A single clip word, a voice that was too flat, a silence held a beat too long, the sharp edge on an otherwise ordinary sentence, all of it was instantly decoded by a brain that evolved to hear not just what people say, but how they truly feel when they say it. And even the abrupt stopping of conversation as you entered, that sudden silence was itself a loud and meaningful signal. Now, here is the crucial part, the thing that makes this feel so mysterious. All of this processing, the faces, the micro expressions, the posture, the spacing, the tone, the silence, happens almost entirely unconsciously, and with extraordinary speed. You do not experience it as a checklist. You don't think, I observe that her shoulders are tense, and his voice was clipped, and the conversation stopped. Therefore, I conclude the mood is bad. That would be far too slow. Instead, your brain does something much more efficient. It processes all these signals in parallel beneath your awareness, integrates them into a single conclusion, and then hands that conclusion up to your conscious mind in the only language that can deliver a complex assessment instantly. The language of feeling. You don't get the data, you get the summary. And the summary arrives as a mood, a gut sense, an atmosphere. Something's wrong here. That feeling is the compressed output of a vast, high-speed computation you never saw happening. This is what intuition actually is. In moments like these, not magic, not the supernatural, but the felt result of rapid, unconscious information processing. Your gut feeling about the room is real data, gathered by real senses, analyzed by real neural machinery. It just skipped the conscious verbal part of your mind and reported its findings directly as emotion. When you sense tension the instant you walk in, you are not imagining things. You are receiving an accurate readout from a perceptual system so fast and so sensitive that its conclusions arrive before your slow, deliberate, thinking mind has even begun to catch up. And there may be an even deeper layer, one that connects you to the people in that room more intimately than you realize. Humans are, to some degree, emotionally contagious. We have a tendency to unconsciously mirror and absorb the emotional states of those around us, catching moods almost the way we catch a yawn. Part of what you feel when you walk into a tense room may not just be your observation of their tension. It may be the beginning of that tension resonating in you, your own nervous system starting to sync with the emotional state of the group. In a very real sense, you don't just see the mood of a room. You begin immediately to feel it from the inside. Your body quietly tuning itself to match the emotional weather around you. This is part of what makes us such a deeply social species. We are built not just to observe each other's feelings, but to share them. So this completely reframes that eerie moment of knowing. You are not psychic, and you are not making it up. You are a superb, finely tuned instrument for reading human emotion, equipped with machinery honed over millions of years of intensely social living, when the ability to instantly gauge the mood of the group, to sense danger, anger, grief, or welcome the moment you arrived could mean the difference between safety and catastrophe. That prickle of awareness as you enter a room is the legacy of countless ancestors for whom reading the emotional temperature of others fast was one of the most vital skills they possessed. You inherited their exquisite sensitivity. You use it effortlessly every single day. So the next time you walk into a room and simply know before anyone speaks that something is off, or joyful, or tense, don't dismiss it as a random feeling, and don't call it magic. Recognize it for the extraordinary act of perception it truly is. In the span of a heartbeat, your brain read 100 silent signals, integrated them into a single knowing, and handed it to you as a feeling, so that you could respond to the humans around you with a speed and sensitivity that words could never match. You didn't guess. You didn't imagine. You read the room the way your kind has always done. Fluently, instantly, and almost entirely without knowing how. You came here wondering how you feel someone's mood the second you walk in. But the real answer was never about a mysterious sixth sense. It was about the astonishing, invisible perception running constantly beneath your awareness. A system that reads faces, bodies, voices, and silences at a speed your conscious mind cannot follow and translates it all into the quiet language of feeling. That instant, knowing when you enter a room is not magic. It's you being profoundly, beautifully human, tuned to the emotions of others so finely that you can feel the truth of a room before a single word is spoken, and reminding you that beneath all our words, we are always silently reading one another.